Okay, today let's talk about 6.5. Let's start with some simple questions. How many letters do you name a side with? When we're talking about side, we're talking about side of a triangle. Well, a side of a triangle is a line segment, and so that is two letters. So if I had a triangle A, B, C, AB would be a side. How many letters should you name an angle with? Sometimes you can get away with one, but most of the time, every time, you can always use three. So angle A can also be considered angle C, A, B. What does opposite mean? Well, opposite is just, across from. So angle A is opposite line segment CB. It is across from, on the opposite side. Okay. Next, the triangle longer side theorem basically says if one side of a triangle is longer than the other side of the triangle, then the angle opposite the longer side is larger than the angle opposite the shorter side. Basically, when this is just kind of in terms of relationships. This is basically in terms of relationships. So if I draw a triangle here, and let's say this is 100, and this is, we'll say 50, and then this has to be 30. The opposite sides here. So let me correlate here. The opposite sides here from 30. So this side, and let's call this triangle A, B, and C. And then the opposite side of C here, which would be AB. And then the opposite side of A, which would be here, which would be CB. Those also would be in the same relationship ratio. So here, angle B, so from smallest to largest, B, angle B is a lot smaller than angle A, but angle C is the largest. So then when we talk about the sides, we say the same thing here. B matches with AC. Well, AC then has to be smaller than CB, which is also then smaller than AB. AB will have to be the longest side because it correlates with the largest angle. Okay, so let's try this out to see, list the angles from smallest to largest here. Okay, so the largest side I have is 32. 32 correlates with K. So K is largest. So from smallest to largest. Okay. Smallest side is 26. 26 starts with J. So J is less. Well, actually, I take that back. 24 is smallest. 24 is smallest here. That measures L. And then 26, which is J. And then 32, which matches up with K. So angle L is the smallest, then J is in the middle, but angle K is the largest. Let's look here. Q matches up with 5.9, which is the smallest. So Q is the smallest. Next, we have P. And then next, we have R, which matches up with 6.8, is opposite from that. Okay. So next, our angle triangle. Oh, that's why this is triangle larger angle theorem. If one angle of a triangle is larger than the other angle, then the side opposite is longer than the other side. So it's just basically saying the other way around, right? So if the angles are larger, then the sides have to be larger. So the sides and the angles are just all proportionate of each other in this case. So for example, here, this one, you're saying if the angle, so let's call this x, y, z. If this angle, let's say we have 60, we have a 40, and we have an 80. Well, then if by determining how large our angles is, right, z being 80, that means xy is the largest. Zy has to be in the middle, and then xz is our smallest because they are opposite of those ratios. Let's try some of this out, okay? List the sides of the triangle from smallest to largest. Well, we can do that. KL is smallest. JL comes next. Then JK, being 28, is largest. Well, here, so this one is a tricky one. It doesn't give us the side, it gives us the angle. Well, we know that all the sides, all the angles have to add up to 100 degrees. To just find the missing one, all I have to do is find 180 minus 51 minus 47 to give me the missing side. This tells me F is 82. So now I just need to write their smallest corresponding. Well, E matches up with DF. So DF is smallest, then FE is in the middle, and then the largest side has to be DE. That corresponds with my 82 degrees accordingly. Next, my triangle inequity theorem says that the sum of any two sides of a triangle has to be greater than the length of the third side. It cannot equal. It has to be greater. So if I were to draw a triangle here and this side is, say, A, the length is A, this is B, and this is C. A plus B has to be greater than C. The same thing with A plus C has to be greater than B, and B plus C has to be greater than A, all according to that. So let's try out whether or not it is possible that these measurements can make up a triangle. So what you want to do is you want to add up the two smaller sides, and they have to be greater than the largest side. Largest side being 10, so they have to be greater than 10. 4 plus 9, you get 13. That is greater than 10, so yes. 8 plus 9, that gives me 17. 17 is not greater than 18. It is less than 18. So this is a no. Cannot happen. This is a yes. 5 plus 7, that gives me 12. 12 equals 12. They cannot equal. Right? They cannot equal. So this is a no here. Let's try out another example. Given two sides of a triangle, give an example of what the last side could be. Right? So here, 5 plus 5 equals 10. Well, then my third side has to be less than 10. It could be 9, 8, 7, right? You have to be careful because 5 plus 9 is, if you do too small, then you risk having the third side being too small. But anything less than 10 will do pretty well. Let's try here, the number 2. 5 plus 12 equals 17. So I just need something less than 17. That I could do 16. 16 is a possibility. But if I make it too small, then I risk having it smaller than 12, right? So we want our number to be to work, but we also want to make sure that our number cannot be too big. So if I did 2, so if I made the third side 2, then 5 plus 2 equals 7, which is way less than 12. And then it becomes completely off balance, and then that can't be a triangle. So I need to make sure that my number is somewhere in between. The difference between 12 and 5, which is 7. So about between 7 and 17. So we don't want it to be too small, and definitely not too